G'day YouTube, Zoo29 back with you again, and welcome to the Week 1 team building video for round 1 of the Orange League. Now this is pretty crazy, guys, I ain't gonna lie. Pretty crazy. I didn't think initially starting off with this league, I never thought I'd really be a fully part of it. I thought, you know, with Bhutan Bohemians, yeah, have a little bit of a role, and that's nice, but I never really thought I'd be a full part of it, so being able to be in this league is like freaking insane. And I'm excited because the caliber of opponents is crazy. I hadn't discussed it, but in my team building, in my division, I have 2 other people in my division that I have. I'll try and link the website so you can check it out. But in my division, I have Ryan, who is a phenomenal battler and is the creator of this league, and River, who I've had a good battle with. Both of them have phenomenal teams, and round 1 we have Ryan. Oh, the San Diego Charge Beams. Look at his team. It's on the screen for you there, but look at his team. Like, it's pretty full on, But I went with a few interesting selections that I think in the long run are the smart choice and will lead the Tampa Bay Frogadiers to a victory this week. So let me break down exactly what I'm bringing, why I'm bringing it, and what the hell is going on in this little head of mine. Okay, let's break it down for you. Boom. First up, the reason why I brought Specially Defensive Registeel. It's quite simple. It is the only thing on my team, the only thing that can deal with Sylveon. Sylveon is terrifying for basically every single one on my team. My only resists Roserade, which is nice, but it can't kill with Sludge Bomb and then dies to Psyshock if it's one of those Sylveons. And it doesn't want to switch in all the time on Hyper Voices. And one predicting is screwed. Or this guy, Registeel, and I felt Registeel was the best. I can easily come in on Sylveon and set up my rocks, which is fantastic because rocks are quite nice in any game. I can also fire off Toxics because one of his main switch-ins to Registeel, I'm assuming, is going to be that Garchomp. So being able to poison the Garchomp is going to be really good at wearing it down. Although burning it would be nice, if it doesn't have any form of recovery, it could really be good at wearing him down. Iron Head is the main stab of choice. It'll allow me to beat Sylveon 1v1 if I need to, which is very, very important. And I've got Rest on there because, funnily enough, on this team, Registeel is my main switch-in to a certain Pokemon called Dusknoir. Now, I don't think Ryan's going to bring Dusknoir. If I'm being honest with you, I think that he has too many mons that he needs to bring instead. But on the off chance that he does, and I need something to take Willow, this is going to be the Pokemon, pretty much. It could be Manaphy, but I'd prefer it to be Registeel, and then I can just rest that off all good and waste my sleep turns against the Sylveon anyway, because I assume he's going to bring it, even though I only have one way of beating it. I only have one way of stopping it. That's the reason why he should bring it. If I only have one way to stop Sylveon, all he has to do is break through that thing, and then Sylveon can put in work. So my assumption is that he has to bring Sylveon, so I have to bring Registeel. Now, Ryan has a lot of really terrifying physical threats. The main 3 that stand out to me are Garchomp, Bisharp, and Mega Gallade. They are all terrifying, and I don't just have one Pokemon that can deal with both, all 3 of them. I have 2-pronged offense, so boom! First up, we have John Cena. He is back once again with the classic defensive calm method, but with Unaware. This is my Gallade check. As far as I know, Gallade does not learn any steel type move. I can always double check right now. Pretty confident. I'm not going to check. I don't know. But Gallade, I believe, does not learn any strong steel type move. I'm sure it learns Poison Jab, and I'm sure it learns all this other stuff. But the fact of the matter is that Clefable can easily switch in if he STs, and even if he does fire off the Poison Jab, it won't be able to kill us. And then we can fire off a really important Moonblast onto the Gallade, which will mean that we can basically kill it in the end. So the basic job of Clefable actually in this battle is just to stop Gallade. If we can do that, awesome! That's fine. That's all I really need my Clefable to do. Same with Quagsire being the only thing I really need to stop Bisharp. Then again, I have other ways to stop it. But I digress. The main aim of this Clefable, like I said, is to come in on that Bisharp, because if it's not coming in on Bisharp, it might be coming in on the Garchomp if I'd prefer it to come in on the Garchomp and not the Quagsire. I know that Amoonguss is a very, very easy switch in, and a Assault Vest, Clear Smog Amoonguss is a fantastic check to my Clefable, which is why I was very, very tempted, guys. You have no idea how tempted I was to run something really cheeky or stupid like stored power Clefable or something like that to get off some damage, or not running soft boiled and instead running substitute and then running enough Spadef EVs to the point where Amungus's Clear Smog cannot break my sub and I can proceed to continually set up and then possibly sweep his entire team. I thought about that, but then I realized that with Unaware, I'm pretty sure I need Moonlight. And because of that, it's like, It's tempting, but it's also risky, because at the same time that I could Calm Mind and sub and all that stuff, he could just click Sludge Bomb, because he knows that I'm unaware, and just try and poison me. And because of that, it's really not worth it. So we're going with a defensive Clef. It's basically just there to stop Mega Gallade. I haven't actually calced how much Mega Gallade does with a Poison Jab. And funnily enough, you would think that was like the first thing I would have checked out, but it never crossed my mind because none of the other moves were really doing any damage. But we can always just find out here. So Poison Jab is actually, it's a 14.8% chance to Twit KO after left his recovery if he's Jolly. I assume he has to be Jolly, because if he is not Jolly, he will get outspared by Manaphy, and that is bad news bears for him. My Moonblast in return brings him down to a very important range of HP. I will explain that later, but Clefable, like I said, main job, walling that Gallade, and also maybe coming in on Garchomp if I feel like it. Next up, we have the main Bishop, and I guess Garchomp check in general, which is Mozart the Quagsire. Coming in here with the Earthquake because, honestly, I want to be able to hit up the, actually, you know what, I want to change one thing. I want to change that. Yep. Reason I want to change that to Ice Beam is because this allows me to hit Amoonguss on the switch if he has Garchomp in. And it just means that I miss out on Toxicking the Slowking, but then again I have a very good switch into Slowking, so that's not too bad. It's not too big of a deal as much, because I can just go to my Registeel and poison it, so there's always that play. And it also just means I can hit up other things on his team. Reason why this Quagsire is very important is it walls Bishop to an extent. Only Banded Bishop can get close to Twit KOing this thing after it uses Knockoff, so just got to watch out for that. And then basically, where was it going with this? Basically, I can take the hit quite well, fire off the EQ to take out the Bishop, and if he keeps taking Life Orb Recall, I can always just recover spam, which is fine. He can't SD to beat me because I can easily just block that, so that's going to be good. It also blocks Garchomp. It doesn't block Gallade because I believe, here's the thing with Ryan's team, okay? If he runs Swords Dance Gallade, he's going to need Fighting Stab because generally that's the way you're going to have to beat Registeel and other things. He's going to need Leaf Blade because that beats Manaphy plus Quagsire. So that leaves one move left. Now, because I have Clefable on team, you would assume straight away that it's Poison Jab. That would make sense, right? But that does mean that he is very, very weak to my Reuniclus. So I'm thinking maybe he might make the last move something else. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be packing the Poison Jab. I just don't, because if he's running the SD set, I just don't see it working. Anyway, that's just what I think. Quagsire has a very simple job. He just comes in against Garchomp, he comes in against Bishop, and he beats them both. 1v1, most times he will beat them both. And that's awesome. That's all I really need him to do. All three of those mons are basically designed to deal with every single big threat that Ryan has on his team. The only other big threat maybe is Delphox, and that's why I kind of got this guy as a backup plan in case things go crazy. I got Beanbag. So it was a toss-up between Beanbag and Worth It this week as to what to bring for this slot. And a lot of tossing and turning happened, but I decided to go with Beanbag because I just felt that he had a better niche in this battle. His Frustration hits like an absolute truck. Ice Punch does about 60 to 70% to Tank Chomp, which is insane because that means that Frustration plus Ice Punch has a chance to kill it, which would be awesome if I can get rid of that way. Crunch is a way to hit up Slowking as well as Delphox, which are two really annoying things. And Brick Break is basically just there to take out the Bishop, which, funnily enough, if it is Jolly, Life Orb with Low Kick, cannot OHKO us at all, which is awesome. And it depends if he's packing the low kick. He could be packing the SD to get past things like, say, Embor and the Psycho Cut and all that jazz, so maybe he won't bring the low kick. I'm not too sure. I don't really see... He could bring low kick because I have the Registeel as well. I don't know, but then it means that he's running not knockoff and plus Iron Head. Or just not Swords Dance. I don't know. I'm not sure what he's going to do with that, but I feel like Beanbag should be okay in that matchup and should put in a fair bit of work for the team. It is also eating up hits from stuff like Sylveon and blowing them back in return, so it's going to be very, very important. But the last two Pokemon, guys, are the two big win cons. These are the two Pokemon that I believe are going to break Ryan's team apart. My dedicated lead is this guy. Now, you might be thinking, how is this your lead against his team? The reason why this Mamoswine is going to put in insane amounts of work is because I expect Ryan to bring Galvantula. I expect it because then it ensures that his Gallade is going to put in more work. It ensures he wins all the speed ties he needs to, and any Scarf Mon that I have trying to speed creep him, because the thing is, some of my Mons don't even outspeed Ryan's. And so you can just put up Sticky Webs, and even the Scarf Mon can't outspeed him again, so he's, you know, all good with that. This thing is designed to catch almost every single lead that he can bring out. I expect maybe Galvantula to be a lead. Icicle Spear, if it hits 3 times, does a minimum of 99.2%. So Ryan has almost 1% or so chance of living. I don't know if he's going to be the 1%, we'll see. If he leads Garchomp, even if it's Yachi Berry Garchomp, it's getting blown back. It's just gone. It can't hit me with much in return. I outspeed Sylveon, so EQ again has a very good chance to kill. Gallade, now I was really tempted to speed creep my Mamoswine to the point where I could outspeed Gallade pre-Mega Evolution to catch it with a Banded EQ on the Mega Evolve. I decided against that as I thought it would be better to invest in my Mamoswine's bulk on the off chance that he tries to save Galvantula and I need something to maybe come in later on other than Beanbag to take an electric hit. I thought it might be important. Fun fact as well, Banded EQ is a guaranteed 2-hit KO every single time on defensive Slowking, which is pretty much his only switch into an EQ on his entire team, bar his Golbat. And that's the thing, if he loses his Slowking, then he basically doesn't have a switch into Icicle Crash either. I was also tempted to speed creep to outspeed Bisharp, but I figured in any case he's just going to Sucker Punch me, knowing I could be fast, and so then I could just go straight out to Mozart, so it wouldn't be a big deal anyway. Or I could just predict the Sucker Punch. I mean, if I was him, I'd go for Sucker Punch, knowing that I could probably outspeed, but you never know. I'd rather just play it safe in this game. I can't really take a hit from Delphox, and if it's not Choice Specs, it's very close to living a Fire Blast. But the big draw card on this as well is that Sleep Talk. Now, the reason why Sleep Talk is on here is because his Amoonguss is a problem. I don't want to bring Roserade because Roserade has a bad matchup against his team. So Amoonguss is probably going to come and probably could be packing the Spore. If it comes in against John Cena, my main game plan is to either go into my Registeel, who doesn't care about Amoonguss, or on the off chance that he's been going for a few Spores, being a bit Spore happy, that's when I'm going to go into Mamoswine and take advantage of it. If Registeel for some reason is going down, I need to switch in, I'm going to go into Mamoswine, and then while it's asleep, he might think he's safe to Giga Drain with the Amoonguss or try and pull a switch, and I can go BAM! Sleep Talk, hopefully blow something away on his team. The reason I'm running Sleep Talk, guys, is because there wasn't really another move that I wanted to give Mamoswine. There wasn't really anything that was of worth that wasn't already on him. Those 3 moves are pretty much all he's going to need at this stage, but he is a destructive machine. I can basically lead off with him, and 9 out of 10 times, he is going to come through for me. I really hope he can put in the big work. Finally, we have the biggest of win cons on my team, and that is Tail Glow Manaphy. Now, what I'm going to quickly do, just because I forgot to do this earlier, is just quickly do a tiny bit of speed creeping. Thank you. And doesn't really matter, does it? Nah. Doesn't really matter to me. Okay. So the reason I just did a little bit of speed creeping, this allows my Manaphy now to completely outspeed Bisharp, unless it's Choice Scarf. So it means that I'm only taking a Sucker Punch, which isn't too bad because I'm running a bit of bulk. Basic premise of this Manaphy is Tail Glow Up and win. He only has really one effective mon that can stop this, and that is his Galvantula, which I'm planning to destroy turn 1 with Manfred. As he might think because he is Focus Sashed, he can easily deal with Manfred, but that Icicle Spear is about to tell him another thing. The reason why I think this that Crazy Horse has a very good chance of sweeping is because I have a lot of Pokemon that I can easily set up on. You might think it's unlikely, but I can easily use this mon to set up on Garchomp, as he won't really want to take an Ice Beam, so he may try and pull the switch directly out to Slowking, which I'm fine with, because that Energy Ball is blowing back anything but specially defensive Slowking, and if he's not running defensive Slowking, it means that Mamoswine is about to ruin his day as well. Even with an Icicle Spear, if he is not defensive, it is going to be doing a crispy amount of damage, which means that he's going to be in a lot of trouble against the dual offense of Manaphy plus Mamoswine. That is the one thing I found about Ryan's team, guys. His core isn't super good. His basic defensive core is maybe Sylveon, Garchomp, Slowking, and I'm trying to remember now. And Amoonguss, that was it, and Amoonguss. All of which don't really deal too well with Mamoswine and Manaphy for that note. Manaphy's Ice Beam at the +3 is going to be doing a ton to Amoonguss, but I also know that I'm going to need Amoonguss weakened a bit because I am fully assuming that he's going to be running Assault Vest or something like that to deal with Manaphy, as it is pretty much his only Manaphy check on his entire team. So that's why I've got other Pokemon that I can switch in against Amoonguss to deal with it quite well. So I'm not really too worried about that matchup. Honestly, not worried at all about that matchup. The moment Amoonguss gets weakened, the moment Galvantula is out of the way, Manaphy can shine in this battle. It doesn't even need to Tail Glow to still put in work. It can fire off some really important hits. Like, for example, Surf from that Manaphy is doing a clean about 60 to 70% to that Bishop. So if I can weaken it a little bit with some other mons beforehand, then I can get rid of Bishop that way, which will be really, really important for my team. I can also get big hits off on Gallade. With the amount of HP investment that I have, I can actually take a Leaf Blade from Gallade, and then I can fire off possibly a +3 Surf, which even Gallade is not going to be able to live, even with that base 115 special defense. So that is really important that Manaphy has access to that. Has access to a way, I guess, of beating Gallade if the rest of the team can't. But definitely Manaphy is going to be a very, very clutch member. Its ability to basically defeat Ryan's team all by itself is the big draw card. Delphox could run the Energy Ball, which you do a lot, but we are running the bulk to deal with that. And I do feel like Manaphy is going to be one of the big win cons. I think that Manfred is going to be putting in the most work for the team. His ability just to break through the walls is going to be fantastic. The same with Beanbag. Beanbag is going to be the underrated hero of this battle, I feel, because I feel like specially defensive Amoonguss is probably the most likely thing to come. So Beanbag can kind of blow through that thing quite easily with its immense bulk and whatnot to break through his defenses. I think my 3-pronged defensive core should be enough to deal with Ryan's threats. I feel like he can't bring all of them. When you think about it, Ryan has what? I said the big 3 was offensive Garchomp, Gallade, Bishop. I think he has to bring those 3. I think Sylveon has to come too. But if he does that, then it has to be defensive Garchomp. Then it might be Cleric Sylveon. But that leaves him, maybe he has to bring Slowking then as a wall. And that only leaves one other Pokemon that he can bring. And that's the tough part, is I can't really figure out what the last one Ryan would bring. Oh, that's right, Amoonguss. Amoonguss. He has to bring Amoonguss. So I'm thinking his team has to be Amoonguss, because that deals with Manaphy. Garchomp, because that just deals with my team in general, and deals with Emboar. That's the big thing. He's going to expect Emboar to come, and I'm not going to bring it, so that's awesome. So I think he has to bring Amoonguss, Garchomp, Gallade, Bishop, Sylveon, and Slowking. That's what I think his team has to be for this battle. If he doesn't bring Slowking, Mamoswine is going to have a freaking field day just clicking Icicle Spear everywhere, all over that team. If he doesn't bring Golbat, I click EQ all day, every day against his team. Fantastic. I love it. If he doesn't bring Golbat, that means that he's relying on Amoonguss to deal with both Clefable and Manaphy, which I can kind of use to my advantage. If I don't need Clefable anymore, I can use it to weaken his Amoonguss a bit more. And like I said, I have Mamoswine to absolutely blow that thing back to Kingdom Come. My game plan, like I said, is to leave Mamoswine and just go from there. But I do feel like this team has what it takes to get us a victory in the first week. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure that you smash out the like button. I would really appreciate your support on this. Make sure you also go check out Ryan. I'll check his link in the description because I'm a nice guy. And make sure that you guys have a fantastic, nice day. It is Video29 signing out. Let's go, Frogs. Week 1. Can we snag a victory?